I'm here today to compare my old and one of the cheapest L lenses, the 17 to 40, against my this new Samyang 2.8 wide angle prime lens. And because I've got to use the new 5DS, that's right, yeah. I thought I'll just use this prime lens and then just crop down the wider picture to cover the ranges that this zoom lens would normally cover. I have a 24 to 105, so really it's only from 14 to 24 that this will sort of cover, you see, by cropping. So that's the plan. I'm going to test it out on this tree. So I'll set it up with the 16mm and then put this prime on and then see what difference we have in angle of view, and also to see if you crop this down to the same dimensions, the same coverage, angle of coverage as the 16mm, what are the difference? Do we get less chromatic aberration and less distortion on the edges, or do we get more? I've done the comparison shot. I've done one at f11 and I've had it at 17mm, and then I've put the 14mm prime on, which I've got on now. I'm taking exactly the same shot, so 5-shot bracket. I've focused on the little, what was it? Little cut in the trunk down there. That's the focusing point, and I'll just do a direct comparison between them. Now I'm just going to sort of like see what effect, try it out, the 14mm, and see what depth of field I have at f11, and it looks like it's almost from about 3 feet to infinity. So I'm going to shoot one using the hyperfocal distance. That's a hyperfocal distance mark. So see that little there's always a bit of leeway in these modern lenses between infinity and, you know, it's a bit more lax in what's infinity. I think it's because if it expands or contracts in heat. So that little L there, so if I put that on, where's it gone? F8, that means between, is that feet? 1.5 feet and infinity should be well within focus at f8, but I don't trust it. So I'm going to shoot at f11. Nearest and far focal points in between those should have acceptable sharpness. I know in the days I filmed they tended to be a bit over generous, so I'd always go, so say it was f11, I'd always shoot it within the f16 marks because it was never quite sharp. That's set to f11. See what that will do. So I'll just, one second, press the button. Well, there's been no distortion correction or lens shading on these two combined photographs. You can see by the slightly greyer one in the middle, that's what the 17mm end of the zoom, Canon zoom does, and you can see how much extra that 14mm gives you on the outside. Well, this is the edge of the Samyang 14mm lens, and you can see it's as soft as ice cream. and just here, that's where the 17mm sort of starts. You can see that transition in the picture. And if we zoom back in, you can see how it distorts, slightly magnifies that edge. And here we have the chromatic aberration. You can see on the left there's the red and green chromatic aberration, and on the right, even less contrast, is the blue, slightly yellow chromatic aberration of the Samyang 14mm. Well, this is what it looks like with a bit of post-processing. I sort of brightened up the trunk while retaining the detail in the sky. One thing that's really surprised me, and I've forgotten I used to do this, with prime lenses, especially wide angles, you can just preset the aperture, preset the focus for hyperfocal distance, aim, make sure everything's in the frame, and just fire the shot off. So that was quite good, really. So that's about it, really. I can't think of anything more to do. It's damp and I'm cold and my hands are getting cold and I'm crying because I'm so emotional about these things. No, it's just the wind. So I'll get back to the studio. Well, I'll just show you what I've sort of done on this shot. I can't think of anything more to do, you see. There's only 2 shots on this, really. Really need a really good sky to make this shot work. So I've got the tree bent over and the trunk going off and it fanning out, so that'll do, you know. So that's about it. Please like and subscribe. What more can I say? Nothing. And hope this audio comes out because the wind's quite breezy.